we have Dr. Pritesh Shah, who is CEO of Prima Equipment. He's not only CEO of a company which produces a very high quality indigenous equipment for the air quality monitoring, but he himself is having a very good expertise and he's fully aware of the challenges in this domain. So I request Dr. Pritesh to please go ahead with your brief presentation.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'll be sticking to the very simple point about the sustainability, about the environment, today's topic, what we are going to discuss. So I'll be not discussing about my company, my product, but this is the fundamental requirement before we talk about the air pollution control or air pollution validation. So if I say this is a pollutant, the sulfur dioxide in the ambient air is 5 ppb or 100 ppb or 5 microgram. How you validate that product? Suppose my source emission. So source emission is a chimney. I'm putting an analyzer and I'm saying that my thousands and crores of data which has been registered at the Central Pollution Control Board server, and the need after the 8 years, India faced that, as my colleague was talking about. Now the era comes of data validation. So 7 years back, we were talking about the system, that validate system. Validate system is which is tested. So we follow the guidelines issued by the supreme or the regulator, that is in Central Pollution Control Board. This is it has to be a certain standard certified tested product. So we blindly went with the TUV certified or the AMCert certified without knowing which standard it has been getting certified. In 2015, there was a committee formed from the National Physical Laboratory and Central Pollution Board to develop the testing facility for the CEMS testing as per the standard called DIN EN 15267, comes under the EN 14181. That's called as a QL 1, QL 2, Quality Assurance Level 1 and Quality Assurance Level 2. Further in 2019, I'll come to that phase, what is that? So in 2019, there was a first government gazette was published by the MOEF, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, directing the CSIR, NPL and then CPCB to jointly develop the testing facility as per the DIN EN 15267 by allocating some fund for the development. I don't know the stage what is, but so far there is no news about that development. We as a Prima group, we have a group of companies, we have a designer, manufacturer and exporter of the product for the purely dominating for the gas analyzer detection for the gases and the dust. Currently we have for the source emission monitoring, stack emission monitoring in pan-India and overseas, we have more than around 900 plus installations successfully running. More than 450 installations are transmitting the real-time data to the Central Pollution Board server and various state boards. We got a thought process in 2008, why can't we in India can have the testing facility which either my manufacturer, Indian manufacturer, like Make in India or Made in India, has to travel all the way to Europe in the TUV land or to the National Physical Laboratory, United Kingdom, to get his product as performance tested as per EN 15267. So we developed, we have a 4-5 scientists, we are in a very young chap, we put in the project, we bought the license, that standard, and we put it our energy. The best part is in 2021, in January, we were ready with this facility, but the facility was unaccredited. You know, we know that it is facility. So we need to get it accredited. So we, as an India, NABL doesn't have that competency to have the audit for 15267. We have to approach to the International Accreditation Service, U.S.A, to accredit this laboratory. And the first go, we are proud to be an Indian. For the first go, the laboratory was accredited for the testing, laboratory testing of CEMS, AMS system as internationally they call, for 15267. So this is the real step towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat, what we feel. Probably you also feel that. The thing is possible. if we could have started with that. So probably the situation of the data validation could have not been arised today if we could have made the procedure of installation and annual testing surveillance, QL1, QL2, QL3 on that part, then probably today we may not be talking about thousands of crores of data, how to validate that. So this is what we tried our best to contribute for the nation. And this is a facility for we called as a testing laboratory in Asia for the sustainability testing, wherein we have a standard for DIN EN 14181 for the QL1, QL2, 15267-3, and the most important is 15259. This is a standard. It's required to be applied prior to installation of the system, not after that, because this is an homogeneity test. Because we need to find the right sampling port where you have a homogenized sample, and then only in the installation goes place. Anyway, we'll have a little descriptions on that. So the thought process, how the thought process comes from. So these are the questions. We have a questions in our mind, everybody's mind. Maybe all the industrialists, regulators, they all have a questions. The accuracy and credibility of assurance. Can we really on the quality and sustainability of CMS installed at the field? These are the questions we are discussing in all seminars. Is the CMS and sampling probe correctly installed at the site location? Do CMS operates properly at the field location? This is the most important, the calibration function and maintenance of CMS done regularly by the operators and manufacturers as per the defined method. Now the important is we need to have a defined method. But we know that, as the guideline says, it has to be a TUV certified and AMSAT certified. But what is TUV certifying is testing as per DIN EN 15267. So 15267 or EN 1481 clearly mention this entire procedures. But that is not defined either in the guidelines. So we took the reference from here only. This thought process has not come as a way. We took the reference, we honor the decision of the Gazette of India. This is clearly mentioned in 2019. Then article of environmental meteorology by Dr. C. Sharma, who is the person, unfortunately we lost him 4 or 5 months back. But that's the person who the pioneer involved into this entire project. Then the CPCB guidelines, which maybe Indian industry, I will say Indian industry has invested more than $3.5 billion following these guidelines. It's not a small amount, if I'm not wrong. So overview of the standard is, it comes as a EN 14181. So it comes with a QL1, QL2, QL3, and AST. So this is how the entire process is happening into that EN 14181. So 152671 to the third is actually performance testing and the laboratory testing. 1 and 2 is in documentation part, and like your company registration, you must be on quality management you have a QMS certified. These are the things it covers. The 3 is then it comes QL2, QL3, and AST. The next slide will come, what are the procedures to be happen into this entire process. So, now this is very important. If we could have followed this, we could have, instead of saying that TUV certified or an AMSAT certified or an U.S.A certified, however, U.S.A never certified any product, probably everybody be knowing that. They only approve the methods, monitoring methods. There is no certificate issued by U.S.A. But however, if we could have, instead of that, if we could have followed these procedures, probably the stage of today about the sustainability of your data which you are receiving from the CEMS could have not been arised here. So here if you see, the who will do it. So it's an operator manufacturer, accredited laboratory, operated and then accredited laboratory. Now, the fundamental is you need an accredited laboratory. So I'll give a small example. If you have purchased an CEMS in 2015, which is certified by TUV under the QL1, now can you tell me, have you sent that equipment after 5 years back to TUV Germany for the AST or the QL3? If not, then QL1 is not valid yet. It's not continuous. So the priority is to have this facility in your own nation where you install this product. So priority was to have the laboratory, testing laboratory, then we should have talked about the certification process. So this is what we have this. So these are the clauses, various clauses, where I'll go with the important clauses. What are the testing is done here? It's very important, like 10.9 response time, repeatability, deviation at 0 point, span point, lack of fit, zero in span drift, influence of ambient temperature, influence of sample flow glow in extractive CMS, voltage variation, and cross sensitivity. This is the rigorous test. It takes around 9 to 10 days for each CMS to get tested. So, the field test. The first part was the performance testing and laboratory, and another part comes as the field test. And field test is required for then, as per the first part is 15259 you need to carry for the homogeneity test. From that, it takes like an isokinetic method, gravimetric method you have to use as an NABL accredited lab who will be doing for the various traverse point and the cross section, the samples. Maybe a lot of chimney doesn't have a 4 sampling point also. So it's very difficult for the laboratory also to do this. But this is a fundamental requirement, and it takes 3 to 4 months to have a 2 identical system installed at the one stack and to perform this test. So here what we'll do on site, on the field, which actual installation. This is done as a test procedure common with the calibration function, response, lack of fit, maintenance interval. Maintenance interval is what the standard says, what the manufacturer says. Manufacturer instruction manual says this is the maintenance cycle, you have to follow this. So there is nothing, standard doesn't define anything, but this is the manufacturer's maintenance cycle. Zero in span, availability, reproducibility, determination of homogeneity, that is what I say about that. And the clause number 6, the calibration function and functional test. The calibration doesn't mean that I have a standard cylinder which is marked with a certain ppm certified from one manufacturer. I pass that calibration gas, span gas to my analyzer and it got calibrated. No. That's it. Because the calibration gas has to be certified by the accredited lab of EN 17034. It's 17034. 17034 lab has to be accredited. And India doesn't have that. And since last 3 years or 4 years of communication with the National Physical Laboratory who provides the traceable samples, gases, are not in position to provide that, to meet this standard here. So we have to import. There is a company in Korea who provides that as per 17034 standards. Why I'm delivering and telling you this open part source, we can avail this facility. Okay. So how the field test, how much days it takes in each. This is what I mentioned. I will not discuss much on this. So determination of homogeneity, I already discussed. The functional test, QL2. This is very much the extractive AMS and in situ AMS. All functions are remained. The alignment, you need to check at what functions you have to do, at what periodically. So benefits to nation. Simple. What is the benefit to country? Along with us, we are the people of country. So it's benefit to country, it's benefit to us and to industry and the regulators. Is the Indian manufacturers of AMS, CMS equipment to meet the international standard of performance testing. This is the most important thing. Will support Central Pollution Control Board to establish a performance testing data bank of various measurement technology in India, hence to prepare realistic guidelines. There has to be realistic guidelines for CMS installation considering India's tropical condition base. will help India to develop its own product certification facility for air pollution monitoring. See, currently there is a scenario since last 3-4 years we are talking product certification India में नहीं है, product certification India में नहीं है, India develop कर रहा है. It is rather we should talk about not product certification, rather we should talk about the testing laboratory first. You cannot reach the product certification unless you have a testing laboratory. So that's the priority rather than that. Will reduce import dependency of technology and testing. As I told, Indian industry, not me, Indian industry has invested more than $3.5 billion in installing the CEMS system, and today we don't know what we have achieved since 2014 to 2023. Will enable to develop technology and equipment locally, a step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Our beloved Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi says Atmanirbhar Bharat. We must trust our own people, we trust our own innovation, we trust our own brains. Probably we should support them, the things will be better. Being only such facility in Asia continent, this is the only facility currently in Asia continent, will definitely manufacturers for other countries will take the benefit. Will support Indian research establishment to step forward in process. Indian certification facility will be having this, you can utilize. Will help Indian manufacturer to develop and test equipment realistically for the Indian tropical condition. Will benefit end user industry, that is the users, will benefit that to have an established, the mission is what? Why we are here? For a greener India. We want to talk about the sustainability of the greener India. So this will help towards that goal. So, where the facilities are available? So either you can go to UK, you can France, Germany, Italy, and in India, TCQA Labs Private Limited, it's a part of a Prima group that you can have this facility. We must be proud that it's the only laboratory in Asia. So, there is one word you can see here which I put in a red. We have knowledge, we have resources, we have money. India is the richest country. How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree that India is the richest country? Yeah, why? You know? This is a CEMS equipment I have installed. You know how rich I will tell you. The data first goes to the technology provider server. Then it goes to the Central Pollution Control Board server. Then further it goes to the State Pollution Control Board server. And the regulators also say that industry also should save their data in their computer. So one data, India can afford to save at 4 places. So it's the richest country. But the problem is with, sorry, I need that last slide, was the red word was intention. Do we have a real intention for greener India? Sustainable greener India? Probably this, we must think of that. I will leave it up to the audience. Thank you so much.